And good afternoon, campers. Let's go through today's session. I wanted to show you how to figure out targets for the day or just for short-term targets. I've got the high-low method drawn on the chart right now. You can see the target low. This is for the TF 961.2. Today's open was 973.7, right around there. Okay. I've also got the target low since this was a down day. Target low for the ES also. Now, what I like to do, and I like to show this because it's a real quick method. You don't need a study, you don't need anything, you just need a zigzag study. And you can basically pull that up on your chart. Just do a zigzag study, it's at the bottom. I just use the defaults. The high, I look at the previous high of the right before the session open. The nearest high before the session open, which is right here, 979.59, and then I wait until the open, and then it'll drop or rise, whatever that first level is. Okay, so it's 964.4. Now, interestingly enough, if I draw a fib with not the traditional 61.8, 38.2, that sort of thing, if I just draw it with 25, 50, 75, and 100% levels, watch what happens. It's very interesting. Okay, I'll place one at 975.9. Is 975.9, and I'll draw that down to 964.4. Okay, and there's 964.4. What's really interesting about this is you'll see that these levels correspond basically to the 25, 50, 75, and eventually the 100% level it hit to the tick. So you can trade at these levels. I like the 50% because I don't have to sit there and get into a trade and spend all day long in a trade. You know, like I had to, if I wanted to hit my 100% level, I would have had to sit in until 2:30 this afternoon, Eastern time, to get out of the trade. Now, if I had got in, say for example, I would typically watch this level, draw my fib, get in at that pullback, which is the 50% line, which is right in here, 970.9. Get in at that and basically go short when it turns down. Okay, so if I got in short there, if I rode that down to the first level, which is the 25%, and I got a 961.5. Okay, that is, say for example, if I got in at 970.2. Okay, say at 970, I went short at 970, and I went all the way down here, and I got out at say for example 962. What's that, $800 profit on one contract on the TF? You know, that's not too shabby. If I wanted to watch the pullback here to 965.7, and I got another sell signal there, I could basically ride that back down to 958.2 or to this 50% level. Okay, that say for example you got out at 958.5 or whatever. Okay, or 958.7 when it hit that 50% retracement. That's still, that's not a bad chunk of change. That's what, about a $1,200 trade right there. So from $800 to $1,200, you spend a little bit more time in your trade, and you made a little bit more money. You made 50% more profit. Or you could have ridden it back up to the 0% line here, which was 964.6, and then go all the way down to gotten out at your 75% level, okay, which is 955.1. Say for example, if you went up to you got out at 956, from 970 to 956, that's about $1,500 right there, and you had to set in that trade for less than an hour. Less than 2 hours. So you got in. Say for example, you got in at the pullback there, which is at 945. Just a little bit over an hour and a half. Sitting that trade for an hour and a half. That's not a bad, that's not a bad day's work for 90 minutes. So that's pretty cool. Let me show you what happened on the, I wanted to show you one thing here. If you'll notice, these levels here, here's the, there's the 25%, the 50%, the 75%, and the 100%. You'll notice that 100% eventually got hit. Okay, it pulled back to the 25%, just over the 25% level here, okay? And then here it hit that target to the tick, 952.9, which was 115 ticks from the 0 point, which was at 964.4. So that's a nice chunk of change. That would have been a very, very nice trade. So that would have been $1,000 trade just sitting there, just writing it. So I wouldn't do that, of course, from zero. That's pretty far in to get in. I would have gotten in at the retracement back up here. Let's look at the ES and do the same thing. Let me clear that study. Okay, let's go over to the ES and look at the same thing. I've already drawn today's open and the target low, which, oh, by the way, the target low got hit. And you look at that, if you just traded the target low, which is what, right there. Oh, whoops, gotta do my line there. If you traded to just the target low, all right, and you said, hey, I'm getting in up here 970.9 and I'm trading all the way down to target low, which is 961.2, that's almost $1,000 right there. You trade to that, which is that first leg down, and you walk away. You're done for the day. And that was within, let's see, that's at 9:45 and 9:57. So within less than 15 minutes, you'd made almost $1,000. You walk away, and you're good for the day. So you can certainly do that. So trading these levels or trading to the other levels that I'm drawing on the chart here for you. Now, again, let's go over to the ES. And again, and I've done this, by the way, I've done this day after day. It's pretty reliable. I haven't done it on crude. Crude is a little bit of a different animal, and crude jumps around a little bit more since it's traded on almost a 24-hour day market. The other markets are pretty much traded on cash, open and close. Like the TF and the ES and the YM and the NQ. Well, let's do this. Let's do this on the ES, which is today's ES, 1855.50. So there's a line at 1855.50, and I draw that all the way down to 1841. What's that? 1841.40. 1841. Okay. Now you'll notice that, and I've drawn some other ones on here. You'll notice that when you pull that down, he pulls back to pretty much to today's open. So you could have pulled back to today's open and then gone short there, okay? Ridden it down to 1833.25, which is that 50% level, which is 33.43. That's 15. 17 points on the ES, which isn't a bad. That's not a bad chunk of change for one contract. Or you could have ridden it down to the 100% level, which was 1826.75, or you could have just ridden down the target low, which happens to be 61.8. And it's kind of interesting how day after day these daily targets, will line up with these fib levels like 61.8 and that sort of thing. So it's really, really interesting how this works. Or you could have just sat in the trade all day long. Ridden it up and down to these levels, went almost to the 25% level and then dropped down 100% level. That was 11:12. So you're done in what? 9:40, say for example, 9:45, 10:45. In an hour and a half, you're done trading, and you made a chunk of change, whatever that would be. I didn't do the math. Say 1826.75 to 1850.25, or right around there, wherever you get in, and you could have made that profit. Okay. What else is interesting is you'll notice the peak of that right before open is 1855.50. Look where it wound up at 1855. Went all the way back up there, just past today's open. That's pretty interesting. And the markets will trade to these levels. The market will trade to these 25, 50, 75, 100% levels. The markets will move around. They'll drop down, they'll drop back up. Zero-sum game. Just a bunch of money changing hands. And it's really interesting. If you'll notice this 1855.50. halfway between that 1855.50 and 1826 or 1821.75. What is that? That's right. You'll see that's right around that level right there. Let's see what that is. Let me. I haven't drawn this, so let's erase these lines and see what happens. I'm kind of curious as to how that's gonna come out. So I draw a fib from 1855.50, 1821.75. Look at that, 61.8%, right to the tick, 1842.50. Isn't that amazing? So it dropped down, pulled back to that 61.8%, and took off to the downside, hitting 1821.75. You could still draw your fibs, and then went back to 1855, almost 1855.50, which is that level. So anyway, I hope you have fun with this, guys. I got to run. I just wanted to show you basically how we can figure out targets for the day, short-term or long-term targets. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.